All right, Shabbat Shalom. This is the brother Ra'aya with another Shabbat lesson. But before I get started, as always, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure to the end. Shabbat Shalom. And with this Shabbat lesson, we're just going to get into the fact that these trials and tribulations that we go to, these afflictions that we go through, getting cut off from the carnal things in the world, so to speak, to build up the spirit is very much needed, especially in the times we're in, the last seconds of these last days before the kingdom of heaven and Yahushua HaMashiach's second coming, because things are only getting worse from here on out, but only the wise are going to take it to heart. For the majority of people out here, especially since it's going into the weekend, what are they going to be doing? Thinking about going into the house of feasting, the house of happiness, going to fulfill their lusts of the flesh, not taking heed to all these danger signs all around them, but going and numbing themselves with drugs, alcohol, committing adultery, going to commit a crime, just thinking about this society and its continuance. But those that are in the right spirit, the elect of the nation of Israel, which Abarat Azam of that number, we're in the house of mourning, diligently thinking upon our power, Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, and the best things we can do to please him, so we can hope to have that protective hedge over us for when Jacob's trouble really pops off and all these calamities and judgments go out. But I'm going to start it off in Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 2. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart or his mind. And it pretty much speaks for itself. It is better to go into the house of mourning, which when we put our hand to this plow and come into this truth, it's nothing but being afflicted in our walk, people coming against us, demons plaguing us, things in the world seeming not to go right, but at the same time, that's us casting off the ways of this world and putting on the ways of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, building up that spirit to become separate from this world. And as you continue in this walk, as you continue in the house of mourning, it builds up your endurance, it builds up your patience. And when you go into that word patience, it means to suffer, and it humbles you, and it makes you really just hate your life that much more in this society and hasten, yearn for its collapse. But if you're being lukewarm, or if you're just being completely cold out here, just having your expectations and your wants in this world being in the house of feasting, then you're just becoming weaker out here, because this society is, as you can clearly see, it's becoming weaker and more authoritarian, and ultimately it's just going to be destroyed. And as it says, for speaking of the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Because everybody that's a part of this society, and we're speaking to our people first and foremost, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are the true children of Israel, who the Bible is for, and who Yahweh, who these people ignorantly refer to as a so-called God, and his son Yahushai, whom they ignorantly refer to as so-called Jesus Christ, are only for. We're coming into the times of Jacob's trouble, a time like no other, worse than any other time in human history, worse than the flood during Noah's time, 70 AD, when the Romans came against us and destroyed Jerusalem, the transatlantic slave trade, slavery, Jim Crow, World War I, World War II, you name it. The times we're coming into are going to be of no comparison, because these are the last times before the setting up of the kingdom of heaven, where there's going to be eternal peace. So the Most High is about to lay open everything and let this wave of judgment and destruction come to punish these wicked people out here who are in the house of feasting. not taking heeds to the words of the prophets, out on the highways and byways preaching this word, as well as putting up video epistles on the internet. Again, hey, here I am at the house doing a lesson, Abaratazah, that's edifying the elect, while you got people out here and enjoying the festivities, going to concerts, taking selfies, looking like a damn fish, gasping for air, committing adultery at the club, at the bars, which there's nothing wrong with, going out and letting your hair down, so to speak, and, linking up with brothers or doing something with your woman or whatever and having a drink and, just enjoying the little moments you can get, because there's a balance to everything. You don't want to be over righteous lest you destroy yourself. But hey, there has to be that balance. You can't let the cares and the affairs of this life, the feasting in the house of laughter and all that, take you out of the truth and tip that balance more in favor towards the world than to the truth. Verse 3, sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance, the heart or your mind is made better. Again, that word patience means to suffer. What does it say in Revelation 13? Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. And we're patiently waiting and suffering for the kingdom of heaven, because as it says in Hebrews chapter 13, verse 14, for here we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come. And when the Most High put the Spirit on us to understand who we were as a people and the times we're living in, we see that there is no continuing city here. This system that Esau Edom, the so-called white man, has set up is in its last seconds. It's in its twilight hours before all hell breaks loose, and it's ultimately cleansed by those nuclear missiles shot from one end of the earth into the other. We seek a continuing city, the kingdom of heaven, where we're going to be at peace for eternity, where we're going to have dominion for eternity, and all the cares and the affairs of this life that plague us will be a thing of the past. Hey, you'll have time to do everything you wanted to do. Hey, start a family, so to speak. Well, yeah, in the kingdom you'll be able to do that. Hey, kids, woman. Hey, you have business. You have business opportunities in your mind you wanted to start, because we're going to be very lucrative in the kingdom. You want to learn how to play an instrument, hey, make things. You'll have eternity to do that. And on top of that, we're going to be righteous because we're going to be fully under the new covenant. We're going to have the laws, statutes, and commandments in us. Let me get a quick example of just what the continuing city we are diligently waiting for is going to entail. This is Isaiah chapter 60. I'm going to start at verse 18. Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy walls salvation and thy gates praise. Point blank, period. Hey, the things that the average so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American goes through wherever they dwell in, the ghettos, the reservations, the barrios, having to look behind your shoulder, think that your so-called friend or brother in the world is going to screw you over, whether rob you, kill you, take your woman, any of that. None of that will be a thing in the kingdom of heaven. Hey, you won't have to worry about these Edomites or these other heathens, hey, constantly keeping that eagle's eye on you, profiling you, thinking you're just another nigger, spick, or tonto. None of that at all. I'm going to jump down to verse 21. Thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. Hey, even though the wicked of our people are going to get cut off on this side, in the kingdom of heaven, they're going to be reborn righteous through the loins of the elect. They automatically in the new covenant with the law, statutes, and commandments in them. So they're going to be all righteous. We're going to go back to the time to where a man actually had love for his brother, the woman had love for the man, the children had love for the parents, all that. Everything's going to go back into complete righteousness and order. And that's definitely something, hey, worth suffering in the house of mourning for. And we want to strive, those that have woken up, we want to strive to be of that first fruits in the kingdom of heaven, that first dominion that's going to get the best of everything, the first fruits of everything, of the heathens, the lands, just everything. But what does that come with right now? Patiently enduring, suffering for the word of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, not being taken by the cares or the affairs of this life. And again, like I was saying, there is a balance to it. I'm not saying don't just go out and do it, nothing, go sit in the house and be a hermit all day. There is a balance, but hey, when that balance starts tipping in the direction of carnality, hey, that's when you're running into problems. But back in Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse, I'll reread verse 3. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance, the heart is made better. The heart or the mind of the wise is in the house of the mourning. Hey, so as it says, the mind of the wise. And how are you made wise? Hey, through the fear of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And through that fear, what do? Follow after his ways, which involves taking yourself out of this world and the ways of this world, not being concerned with the betterment of this world, a hastening for its destruction, which again, as we can clearly see, is quickly coming. But for the majority of these people out here, hey, they're just spending the time going into the weekend, hey, thinking everything's just gonna get back to normal. Well, we had a little rough spot in 2020 and 2021, but hey, like Joe Biden said, America's back. Hey, America's not back, and this society is not back. The only back it is dealing with is going into the back burner of history, literally being burned by nuclear missiles. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. Having a grand old time, all the time. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. And hey, when you actually start following after the ways of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, you're being rebuked by wisdom, by the words. And as it says, it's better than hearing the songs of fools, because in the scriptures it says, a friend loveth at all times, but a brother is born for adversity. Hey, these people in the world don't give a damn. Well, when the times are good, they can put up that image about how much they give a damn about you, singing the songs of fools and having a good old time. But hey, you just wait till these calamities really start hitting. The famines, martial law, all these different things out here that are going to really start afflicting people carnally, that haven't been building themselves up spiritually. You're going to see how much of a friend people are in the world. Hey, those songs of fools are about to become lamentations of fools. People are already pretty damn cutthroat out here. So imagine when you can't get food, you can't get gas, new LOCK, DOWNs, all that. You're going to see people's true nature come out. But, as I said, it is better to hear the rebuke of the wise, because again, these scriptures, which are wisdom, they're constantly rebuking us and rebuking that old man for us to cast it off. Hey, but the brothers that are in camps or around other brothers, you're hearing the rebuke from the wise as well. Iron sharpeneth iron. Brothers that are truly brothers and not just friends of their own occasion are going to constantly be keeping an eye on you. And if they see that you're slipping, they're going to say something to you to pull you out of the fire. Because, hey, somebody that truly loves you, they'll give you that tough love to make sure you're not fucking up out here. That's the misconstruing of this idea of love in this society. And of course, we know in 1 John 5 verse 3, the love of the Most High is to keep his commandments. So hey, showing love to your brother is dealing with him according to the commandments. And that comes with a lot of harsh It can come with harsh rebukes sometimes, but again, it's better to feel the rebukes now of a brother, and to feel the lashes and the rebukes of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, than to not take heed to it and just to be out here laughing like a fool, having a good time in the house of mirth, and then that judgment comes and really cuts you down. I'm gonna get a precept real quick. This is Job 5 verse 17. Behold, happy is the man whom the Most High correcteth. Therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. That's a part of being in the house of mourning, the chastening of the Most High. Things not going your way, more often than not, because we do get little reprieves here and there, but for the most of the time we're being afflicted physically, mentally, problems with your car, problems on the job, money problems, health, the list goes on and on. But what does that make you do? Lean more unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai in the spirit, and less on the carnality in the ways of this world, not leaning unto your own understanding. Verse 18, for he maketh sore and bindeth up, he woundeth, and his hands make whole. Think about it like if you work out with weights. When you're lifting those weights, hey, it's a pain in the ass, and you sometimes you feel like you can't do it, but you just push through it, and what? When your muscles recuperate, you're that much more stronger, and then you can go to lift that much more weights. That's what the chastening of the Lord does. It makes you that much more stronger in the spirit to deal with the things in the flesh. It becomes much easier. Things that you may have been dealing with that seemed insurmountable a couple of years ago, they're patty cake now. They're child's play. But with that being the case, and us constantly being in the house of mourning, new challenges are going to come your way. But you just, as long as you stay diligent to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, a way will be made for you to just keep building yourself up and become stronger. But back in Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 6, for as the crackling of thorns under a pot, so is the laughter of a fool. This also is vanity. And as you build up more and more in the spirit, and you become more and more disgusted with this world, the things you see, the things you hear, you just realize that in this society, we're engulfed by wickedness. You may get a little reprieve and have a little moment to yourself to think, okay, I can relax. But then you turn on the radio, and what do you hear? Songs about gangbanging, the alphabet group beginning with LG, adultery, all that, and just put you in a mood. You go out in public, people are waxing worse and worse with driving. Everybody's got an attitude. You try to do business with people in the world, and they're constantly trying to screw you over. We need Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai in the kingdom. There's nothing left in this place. It's just going to wax worse and worse until it's destroyed. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. A gift destroyeth the heart of the mind. If you find yourself more in the house of feasting and mirth, gifts, so to speak, come your way. Things that are pleasing to the flesh may come your way, and it may make you think, oh, yeah, this captivity is pretty bad, but you know what? I got a raise on the job. I got a new job. Oh, a pretty woman came my way. Things like that. And if you're not firmly rooted in Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, hey, as it said, a gift destroyeth the heart of the mind. And as it says in Sirach, he that contendeth small things fall little by little. If you don't put things in check by the beginning and let little things build up, it's going to become a big problem. And it may be the thing that takes you out of the truth and puts you completely back into the world, into the house of fools and feasting and mirth and destruction, ultimately. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. And the patient, and we know again, patient means suffering, in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. And these people out here in the world are clearly proud in spirit. Just look at them. you can't tell anybody anything. They're a goddamn know-it-all. Everybody's rude, scumbag, all that. But again, better is the end of the thing than the beginning thereof. And we're at the end of this society. We're at the end of this suffering. And let's slack you. Kind of lost my train of thought. We're not at the beginning of it, and we've pretty much reached the ends of our final captivity. We went through slavery. We went through our daily trials in this life without the truth, but now we have the truth, and now we're seeking that continuing city, because we can clearly see it is right around the corner. So that's what gives us the strength to stay in the house of mourning, building up our spirit, preparing ourselves for these times of Jacob's trouble. Because like I said at the beginning of the lesson, it's going to be worse than any other time in history, and we're going to need Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai to get us through it. Let me see where I want to go to next. This is Romans chapter 13. I'm going to start at verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. And when we have an understanding of the scriptures, we definitely do know the times. We see the signs that Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai put in the scriptures to let us know that, hey, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Destruction and judgment is at hand. So, hey, we're commanded to awake out of sleep. Stay diligently upon our watch, watching and seeing what's going on, and prophesying to the rest of the hopeful elect to let them know what the times are and what they need to do to get their spirits right with their power, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Which, let me get that real quick. This is Habakkuk chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And hey, the men of the Lord, the prophets of the Most High, chiefly through GMS or Great Millstone, as well as the sincere brothers that come in the spirit of GMS, are standing upon their watch, which includes being in the house of mourning. Because again, when you're in the house of mourning, you're hastening for the day of the Lord, because you know the kingdom's coming. So you're standing upon your watch and preaching the word out there, whether on the highway, on the highways and byways, as well as putting up your video epistles online. Verse 2, and Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables. Again, preaching on the highways and byways, or through the video epistles online, that he may run that readeth it, that those of the hopeful elect will wake up out of that sleep as well, and understand the times that they're living in, and come back to their power, doing everything they can so they can hope to have that protective hedge over them as well, to be safe from these calamities of Jacob's trouble. Salakia, verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it will surely come. It will not tarry. And of course, in this flesh, since we're not on the time of the Most High, it seems like things are tearing, but things are going really fast in the spirit world. Hey, everything's already been written. The destruction of Babylon or America, the kingdom of heaven coming to its fulfillment, the kingdom of heaven being established, Yahweh Shai making his second coming, these heathens being our slaves. But hey, we're just playing it out in the flesh right now. But hey, we can clearly see that that, as it said, though it tarry, wait for it will surely come, it will not tarry. Hey, with each passing day, it seems less and less like it's tarrying, and things are speeding up. Hey, literally, I did a video the other week showing that scientists have found that their measurement of time, the days are actually getting shorter, because the earth is so-called spinning faster, which I'm not going to go into the science of it because I can't say I'm too knowledgeable on it, but you got scientists out there literally saying the earth is spinning faster and the days are getting shorter. And all throughout the scriptures it says, as in Matthew chapter 24, that the days shall be shortened for the elect's sake. That's just another indicator. Not only are we living in the last days, but the last seconds of the last days. So again, now is a high time to wake out of sleep and be fully committed to following after Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light. Hey, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai through the scriptures. Verse 13, let us walk honestly as in the day, not in... I'll reread verse 11, then jump down to 13. And that now, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. Though it tarry, wait for it, for it will surely come. It will not tarry. Jump down to verse 13 in Romans 13. Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and in drunkenness. Hey, being in the house of mirth and feasting, going out every goddamn day, every goddamn weekend, after work, or if you have the day off, just drinking and bullshitting and committing all manners of madness and folly out here. Not in chambering and wantonness, not being a sexually lascivious out here, being a damn sex addict, just constantly chasing after these women looking for box. Of course, there's nothing wrong with getting a woman and dealing with your woman, but you can't just be hollering at every goddamn thing out here. You gotta build up some self-control, especially in the times we're coming in. One of the brothers did a beautiful video that I watched the other day saying, hey, a lot of these women that Jakes may have their head up the woman's ass. Hey, if you're putting too much time in that woman and not into Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, hey, expect that woman to turn you in when things get bad and she loses faith, whether she knew she was an Israelite or not, or just a woman just getting weak in general when all these calamities hit, and look for any bit of solace to stop all this pain and misery that's coming. Remember Lot's wife. Not in strife and envying, and having an evil eye towards your brother. There's nothing more than damn demons afflicting you. And we're too goddamn close to the end to be acting like niggas out here. Hey, if have an issue with the brother, you think a brother has an issue with you, hey, do that, the Matthews 18, and go and talk to him and handle it out. And pray and fast, but just don't be a goddamn fucking weak nigga out here just thinking that, oh, woe is me, the whole world's against me, the brothers don't like me, any of that. If the man is standing next to you and laboring next to you, and you know the man, hey, expect that man to follow you to the end. Now, of course, there are wolves in sheep's clothing, and you need to be circumspect, but just don't go out there in general having that evil, envious eye towards your brother. That's the wrong spirit to be in. Verse 14, but put ye on the Lord Yahushai Hamashiach, and make no provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof, giving into the flesh, spending more time in the house of feasting and mirth, and listening to the songs of fools, than in the house of mourning, where the wise dwell, and having their spirits afflicted and their patience being built up, and becoming more spiritually inclined towards Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and less from this world. Because again, we are in this flesh, and things sometimes seem like they're taking their sweet time to get here, and that the wicked, not just the literal wicked, these Edomites, but the wicked of our people, and all these heathens out here living a wicked lifestyle, they seem like they just continue to win and live their best life. But hey, we see the signs and the times, and know that our salvation is nearer than when we believe. And there's going to be a quick role reversal Those people that were having a good time and laughing in mirth, they're going to be lamenting and mourning and going through it. While those that built up their spirit now, though we're going to go through it as well, we're going to have that calm, soothing spirit and understanding of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai on us to help us to be able to maneuver through these times. We're going to have that protective hedge over us. But now I'm going to go to Sirach, chapter 11. I'm going to start at verse 25. In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction, and in the day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity. Just like that, one day you could be the cock of the walk in your day of prosperity. Everything's just going right. Got a raise on the job, new car, house. Hey, you're going out and having a good weekend at a concert. You're at the bar, at a nice restaurant, eating and drinking, burning through money like it's never gonna end. And in the day of affliction, there's no more remembrance of prosperity. Just like that, everything can go south. And hey, by the hopeful elect being in that house of mourning right now, we're building up our spirits to expect that. Because when it happens to them, it's going to be like a thief in the night, like a goddamn wave destroying them. But us, we're going through that right now. One day, we could be in a so-called day of prosperity where we get a slight reprieve, maybe a day, maybe a week, maybe a couple of months. But just like that, car breaks down, lose your job, etc., etc. But by us going through that now, before society, before all hell breaks loose out here, we've built up our spirits and our patience and endurance. So when the real show kicks off, we've already got training in it. But as for these people out here that just want to live their best life, well, they're about to go through their worst nightmares. For it is an easy thing unto the Lord in the day of death to reward a man according to his ways. And remember that these heathens called our power Elishadia, the great demon-like power. And as it says, it is an easy thing unto the Lord in the day of death to reward a man according to his ways. If you're living out here just like a complete scumbag, a whore, a piece of shit dirtbag, it's an easy thing for the Most High to reward you with death according to your ways. And a lot of these people are going to learn that the hard way, as it says in 2 Ezra chapter 9. Those that didn't want to take heeds to the words of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, that scoffed at it and cast it behind their back, hey, they're going to know it after death by pain. 27. The affliction of an hour, and an hour, only 60 minutes. Yeah, but with the days getting shorter, the hours are getting shorter as well. That could be a literal hour, or it could be any span of time. The affliction of an hour maketh a man forget pleasure, and in his end his deeds shall be discovered. If you just go through a humiliating, ignoble death, it's going to be shown that, hey, what were your deeds? That you were a scumbag out here. You were just a carnal-minded animal of the world, only caring about your baser instincts, getting that next high. But with those being in the house of mourning, afflicting themselves right now, we're going to go through it, but we've prepared ourselves spiritually and mentally to go through it, so we'll have an easier time. And some brothers will be martyrs in this truth for a testimony under Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, but they're not going to have a humiliating, ignoble death. They're going to go out righteously like a man or a woman of the Lord. And then in the kingdom, they're going to have that memorial as those that stood up firmly for the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. They're not going to have that memorial as somebody that got weak and gave into the ways of this world and bitched up. Let me get Daniel chapter 12 real quick, just to back up what I was saying a little bit. And at that time, listen closely, this just goes to show how terrible the times we're coming into are going to be. And imagine, hey, you don't have that protective hedge of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai over you. And at that time shall Michael stand up, Michael the archangel, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, the children of Israel. And who's he going to stand up for? The elect, those that have spent their times during these times in the house of mourning, patiently suffering and afflicting themselves so they can become closer to their power, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and pull themselves farther away from this wicked world which is quickly coming to an end. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that time, Jacob's trouble, again, which is going to be worse than any other time in human history. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. What book? The book of the Lamb, the book of life. Hey, the elect that again spend these times in the house of mourning, patiently suffering and enduring, building up their spirit and their love towards Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and constantly, day in, day out, putting away the ways of this world and keeping that old man as at bay, because it's much easier said than done. And again, in the day of prosperity, there's a forgetfulness of affliction, but in the day of affliction, there's a forgetfulness of prosperity. And one day, you could be, just speaking in the truth, one day you could be on fire, just thinking nothing can touch you, but just like that, roadblocks, afflictions can come your way that can really knock you off kilter. What are you going to do? What you should do is pray that much more and do whatever you can to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai to get you through those afflictions, and hope you don't end up in the house of fools, in the house of mirth and feasting, and enjoying sin for a season, enjoying sin for a season instead of casting off sin and then being destroyed with these other wicked people out here, and coming back through the loins of those that stood firm to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and having that shameful memorial of your works. Verse 2, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And that dust means confusion. And we were all in confusion in this world before we heard this word. But when we heard this word, we woke up to who we are, to the ways of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, to everlasting life. And if we endure in the kingdom, we're going to have that memorial of everlasting praise and glory. But to those that didn't wake up, that may have heard the words, but despitefully casted it behind them, that wanted to stay in that dust of confusion, when they get put to death on this side and are reborn in the kingdom, they're going to wake up to shame and everlasting contempt, have that eternal memorial as to somebody who just wanted to be a part of this world, wanted to enjoy sin and the wicked ways of this world. They didn't stand firm, and that's to be a very shameful thing. It may not seem like it now, but when it's etched in stone and you're an Israelite that's actually in the kingdom, and you see what those that were in the house of mourning and made that great sacrifice, what they were working for, you're going to feel ashamed. Because again, you didn't take heed to it, and you wanted to be a part of this world. And if you were a scoffer, you're going to feel that much more like a scumbag, because once you're enjoying the benefits of the kingdom, those that laid the groundwork for you to enjoy it, you're going to remember, man, I was an asshole to him. If I was a boss on the job, I fired him. I may have came out onto the block and just talked shit and threatened him, tried to lay hands on him. If you're a woman that was dealing with the man of the Lord, I left him or did any kind of I just treated him like another nigga out here. That's gonna be your memorial for eternity in the kingdom of heaven. But there will be a balance. After a time, all Israel is gonna be good and enjoy the kingdom, and it's gonna be like water under the bridge, how you feel. But that memorial is gonna last for eternity. And which side do you want to be on? How do you want to be remembered? Verse 3. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. It speaks for itself. Just this grand memorial for yourself, this blessed name for eternity. Those that did not bow the knee to Baal, and you stood firm to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai to the bitter end, whatever it may have been. Let me see where I want to go now. Probably close it out. This is Luke chapter 6. Hold on a second. This is Luke chapter 6, verse 22, and it's in red letters, so it's Yahweh Shai speaking. Blessed are ye when men shall hate you, and when they shall separate you from their company, and shall reproach you, and cast out your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake. And being in that house of mourning, being afflicted for patiently suffering for following after the ways of righteousness, the ways of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. It says, blessed are you, because we're seeking that continuing city. We're seeking that eternal memorial of righteousness to be of that elect number, the first fruits in the kingdom of heaven. Rejoice ye in that day, and leap for joy, for behold, your reward is great in heaven. As it said back in Daniel chapter 12, verse 3. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. That glorious reputation, first fruits, first dominion, that eternal memorial of righteousness, that reputation of righteousness. For in like manner did their fathers unto the prophets, verse 24. But this is for those that want to continue to stay in the house of mirth, the house of fools, listening to the songs of fools, feasting. But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation. And those that are so-called winning on this side, and doubly more so if you're in the truth, but there was some major thing that took you out of the truth and think you won. Hey, that was your consolation from Satan. Hey, congratulations, you played yourself. Woe unto you that are full, for ye shall hunger. Woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep. And what it goes on in the house of feasting, laughter in the songs of fools. Though you're enjoying your sin for the season, and drinking and eating and laughing, in that day you'll be mourning and lamenting and weeping. You'll forget that time of prosperity, because you're living your time of affliction, your time of destruction, your time of judgment. But again, as for those that are suffering patiently right now in the house of mourning, being afflicted for Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, this is Isaiah 65, verse, let me see where I want to start. I'll start at verse 12. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called through who his prophets, ye did not answer. Back in 2 Ezra chapter 9, they that heard the word, they despised it and threw it behind them. When I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes. They just wanted to stay in that house of feasting, eating, drinking, laughing, having a good old time with sin, and did not choose that wherein I delighted not, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Woe to you that laugh and drink and have a good time now, because ye shall hunger, thirst, and lament. You're not going to have that protective hedge of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai over you. You're going to have that flood of judgment and destruction just engulf you and wipe you away. But again, for those that are diligently enduring right now, the patience and the faith of the saints, that we're going to eat and drink and rejoice in that day, have that protective hedge of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai over us, taken out from our spiritual bank account, so to speak. Hey, we're putting money in it, not taking money out, saving it. So in that rainy day, that emergency day, when we need to pull out that money, hey, we'll have enough to cover ourselves. Verse 14, behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, of mind, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. And ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen, for the Lord Yahweh shall slay thee and call his servants by another name. Point blank, period. So that's it with this Shabbat lesson. And with this lesson, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. As we can clearly see, we're almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shabbat Shalom.